And here we are again doing relationship advice from Reddit. A lot of people not so good at giving advice. I myself study psychology extensively, and I'd like to think that I'm a little bit better at it than at least half of the people here on Reddit. Seriously, half of these people have no business giving advice. And holy crap! That is a lot of text. Oh, good, they have a TLDR. That's gonna really help me out. I'm terrified. Here's the title. I'm terrified of what my best friend of 15 years is planning in retaliation to a fight. She seems almost psychotic and won't let it go. TLDR, my friend has a history of being really vindictive to crazy levels when things don't go her way. I think she may be a narcissist. And after a recent fight, where our larger circle took my side, I started recently trying to gray rock the other techniques to get rid of. Okay, so here's the deal. No matter what, you've made the right choice here. You took somebody in your life who was toxic, and you showed them the exit. If anything comes back in your direction, how's that going to look for you? More importantly, how's it going to look for them? You've already got everybody on your side. Now, if you believe that she's psychotic and she could do damage, if she could hurt you, if you think she could hurt somebody else, if you think that she could hurt somebody, if she could hurt herself, well, that's when you have to bring the authorities into it. I'm not going to go through and read this entire thing, but good on you for actually deciding to end the relationship. It takes a lot, especially given that you've known each other for the 15 years. I very briefly skimmed through some of the text. 15 years and you're willing to walk away from that because of the way they carry themselves. Good for you. Be careful though with the word narcissist. I think that a lot of people use it, probably more than it should really be used. But I think you've made the right choice here. Seriously? Why? Oh, this is a good one. Let's get right into that. Why doesn't my mom love me? I didn't do anything wrong. This is from the perspective of a 22-year-old female. I didn't do anything wrong. All my life, she's done horrible stuff to me. Ooh, sex in front of me, laughing at my depression and self mutilation, purposefully forgets my birthday. Um, so, in terms of like level of severity, you listed off three really big, massive things, and then you brought it all down with one that's like nowhere near severity in comparison. She forgets your birthday on purpose. She never read me stories or tucked me into bed as a child. She didn't show up to my high school graduation because she forgot. No one in my family did. No one saw me walk across the stage. There's not a single picture of me from my graduation. I didn't do anything wrong. Why doesn't anyone love me? There's a couple things to unpack here. You seem to really focus a lot on your graduation. This is a very short and sweet, to the point post that you've done here. And as such, you've only listed off this one instance. Now, there's so much more. I'm only going to highlight these. I don't think the birthday thing is as big as the other things. It's nowhere near as big as the three things here. You need to move out. If you're still living with your mom, I noticed that no mention of your dad. You need to move out so that you're not physically near your mom. You need to get a job. You need to support yourself. And you need to move on with your life. Now, the things that I have highlighted here, you're going to need some therapy for these. 100%. And this is probably something where I am fully comfortable saying that from this point on in your life, you probably don't need your mom to be involved at all. I mean, there's other situations where I've said to people that, maybe 10, 15 years from now, you can build a relationship with a parent again where there either wasn't one in the past or it was a horrible relationship in the past. But this is one where I'm comfortable saying that you probably don't need your mom in your life at all from this point forward. Just from those three things. Get some therapy. Focus on yourself. Don't date anyone. Don't date anyone. A lot of that's going to transfer over. You're not going to pick the best partner. Get some therapists. Focus on yourself. That's not really a relationship thing. I thought it was interesting though. Does anybody ever miss their childhood home? Yeah, I think about my childhood home from time to time. I'm apprehensive about this one. I really like the title, but it is just a block of text, and that's like my biggest pet peeve. Fine. My boyfriend's mom repeatedly told me I should lose weight at his brother and fiance's baby shower. I have lost 20 pounds since I saw any of his family last. First things first, why? Why did you lose the weight? Is it so that you could please them? I got bad news for you. If you lost weight specifically as a means of trying to please someone else, what are they going to ask you to do next? It's not going to just stop with you losing 20 pounds. Maybe you're going to have to lose 20 more. Maybe you're going to have to get a college degree that they want you to get. Maybe you're going to have to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're going to have to do all of the housework. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. If you lost weight because you are trying to please someone else, it's not going to go over well. Because now that you've done that, they know that they have power over you. They know that you are trying to that you value their opinions of you. They have you wrapped around their finger. Let's get into this. I just saw my boyfriend's family today at his brother and fiance's baby shower. We were only there briefly, and towards the end of the visit, his mother came up to me telling me that I needed to eat healthy and lose weight. She compared me to his older sister, who's also a bit overweight, who was literally sitting 3 feet away. By the way, if you use the word literally, you're an idiot. She was not literally sitting 3 feet away. She was maybe at the next table over, but come on. The word literally is so overused. Let's see, where did we leave off? She said I needed to lose weight to become more healthy to take care of her son. Okay, so this is the kind of family where it's the wife's job to take care of the children and the husband. You seem as though you're very surprised. This is either because you haven't spent a lot of time with his family, and you didn't understand whatever culture this is. But it's not going to change. Just know that. Whatever you do, it will never be enough. And why, and I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. Why is that necessarily a bad thing? You say it in all caps, and to take care of her son. What's wrong with that? In marriage, one spouse takes care of the other, and vice versa. To what extent did she mean it? I do understand where you're coming from with this, but just going to kind of throw that out there. And then the mom says that if she can do a 2-mile nightly walk, then there's no reason she shouldn't be able to either. I had told her I have a machine for exercising, to which she responded, "Then why don't you use it?" I ended the conversation there. So, the machine will never compare to actual movement. So, I don't think that I need to keep reading this one. I think anything of value that needs to be said has already been said. You're trying to win over this horrible person, and probably in your mind it's horrible that she would say this. It's horrible that she'd go about it this way. And yet you're actively pursuing relationship points with her. You don't need to be her best friend. I'll just leave it at that. This is interesting. I, 21-year-old male, blocked a friend, 38-year-old male, because of his strange comments. Was it fair? So, it's kind of weird that you would have a friend with such an age gap. And I understand it, age is just a number and all that other crap, but how did you two meet? How did you become friends? Who started that friendship? How did it start? Why did it start? It's such a weird dynamic. He's a former roommate turned good friend. Okay, so roommates. I've had roommates in the past, and I kept them in the past. He's a former roommate turned good friend, but I have always noticed he had quite the confidence, perhaps too much, bordering on arrogance at times. He's been especially proud of his recent DNA discoveries. Relatively diverse results, including under 10% Scandinavian and some African. Everybody has everything. If you go back far enough, everybody has everything. It's been a pleasure to hear him speak of it until today. He sent me a voice note in a sarcastic and condescending yet somewhat humorous tone that it must feel bad for me, to an average, uninteresting white man. I corrected him by saying that my surname is Jewish and that my grandparents were Puerto Rican and Italian immigrants. Italian immigrants who lived in Puerto Rico? They're still white, man. He then proceeded to make disparaging comments that neither of those regions of the world hold any true meaning in history, which of course is ridiculous. Judea, blah 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 blah. Look, I'm gonna say something here. You come from one world, you are 21, and he comes from a completely different world. He's 38. I don't want to simply chalk it up to being he was raised in a different time. But in reality, he was raised in a different time. Now, that's not me defending him, and that's not me saying that you blocking him was the right or the wrong move. But what I will say is good on you for actually having the balls to do it. You have values, you have standards. Keep on. Yeah, I'm not going to entertain that. Ooh. Oh, that sucks. It's so short. My boyfriend is my only friend at this point in my life. Outside of my family, my boyfriend is the only person I socialize with. My two close friends seem to have distanced themselves from me. Okay. Why? Why have they distanced themselves from you? What are you doing to make new friends? Are you going out on any social crusades? Are you actively trying to build up new friendships? Or are you just kind of letting things be what they are? You should probably get into some kind of therapy, because I feel as though you're questioning your own worth here. And why is that? You gotta figure that out before you can really move on. I, 24-year-old female, and my significant other, 24-year-old male, are adopting our first pet together, but his friend, 24-year-old female, asked if she can come along, and he is willing while I am hesitant. You gotta put the foot down. This is mommy and daddy going to get a baby. And the last thing mommy needs is anybody else there. I don't know what kind of conversations you've had about friendships, but it's clear that for some reason you feel uncomfortable with the presence of this other female, and you should figure out where that comes from. So they're adopting a kitten sometime in August. He brought up that his friend wanted to come tag along. I personally do not get along with this friend, and I'm not a fan of the idea. I showed my disinterest in the idea, but he still wants to be able to invite her. after I am agreeable. He does not understand why I am hesitant / unwilling. He brought up that I would have brought my sibling or his sister if he could. So, mentally, in this relationship, you and your boyfriend are not on the same page. You are looking for marriage. You are looking for a man. You are looking for a father figure to build your future family with. And he literally thinks this is about a cat. I don't know how long you guys have been together, but I think you guys need to sit down and have a serious talk, preferably before August when you bring in another life form into this relationship. This isn't about this is why I do this. They're on the right track, but it's all muddled up. This isn't about the day that you go and get the cat. There's so much more to this. This is like the first step, major step, in the entire relationship in terms of your life, in terms of his life. I think you guys need to have the actual relationship talk. That's really all there is to it. No therapy needed for this one. You guys have to figure out what your values are, what you want and what he wants. Usually that's something that you have very early on in a relationship. But I don't think you guys have ever had that conversation. Figure out that you guys, whether or not you guys are on the same page, and figure out where his maturity level is as far as the relationship goes. And that'll do it for this episode.